Hey everybody, I just wanted to hop on real quick and just share with you a little bit about my 30-day scale cleanse. Um, Honestly, it really sucks today because on day 16 of my 30-day scale cleanse, I cracked. After a year of weighing myself every single day, I couldn't take it anymore. In my head, I built it up so big. I've been using a habit tracker and um, And these are not new habits for me. They're habits that I've been doing for years and years and years. Only last year I had a scale to keep me accountable. Now without the scale, I'm discovering I'm like second guessing everything, triple guessing everything, overthinking it, analyzing it. With Valentine's Day, I had a couple of days where I didn't stick to some habits, and then Mason's birthday, I didn't stick to some habits, and then I was traveling and I didn't stick to some habits. And I'm a very habit oriented person. So in my mind, I was just like, I have all of these days where I didn't stick to my habits. What have I done to myself? What did I do? What did I do? I felt really gross last night because I ended up eating late. And when I eat a bunch late at night, then I usually end up feeling gross and bloated the next day, anyways. And when I'm not on a scale cleanse, I don't even get on the scale for 3 days after I've had a big meal because I know it usually takes my body about 3 days for the water weight to come out. But this morning, it just freaked me out. I had to get on the scale. I'm not going to say what the scale said because it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that I still feel gross. I still feel disappointed in the choices I made, whichever way the scale did go. It doesn't change the way I look in the mirror, doesn't change the way I feel. It didn't help. It didn't do anything. There was no answers to any of my questions. Only now I know. I know what I weigh today. And it doesn't say anything about my health, doesn't say anything about anything other than how much I weigh today. Um, so I going forward, I'm sticking to the cleanse. I'm like pissed off at myself. I feel like I let myself down. I didn't keep a promise to myself, which a lot of you all know. Like I'm big on keeping promises to myself. That was the whole basis. Like love yourself enough to keep your promises. And But I'm not perfect. I'm human. Going forward, I don't plan on checking again. I don't plan on peaking again. I'm totally okay with it. It's like when you do with one of those like 30-day squat challenges and you miss a day and then everybody just gives up. I'm not doing that. Like, yeah, I it was a 30-day scale cleanse and I took a peek. But I am going to keep doing it going forward. I think I'm actually going to keep doing the 30 days weighing in for forever because there's not a lot that happens in 30 days when it comes to messing up your life or destroying what you've worked to build. I think that was the biggest thing for me is I was just so scared. So scared to go back to my old way of living. It scares me anytime I do anything that resembles something that I used to do, like emotional eating. Emotional eating is it's pretty normal for most people, but when you were a food addict and you do eat emotionally, doesn't mean like you've relapsed or you've like completely screwed up and you're a food addict again in my eyes. It just means like you're human and you ate some food because you were upset. But it is something to watch and note and make sure it doesn't happen continually over time and become a habit. So anyways, I'm filling out my habit tracker for the month. And I have like all of my habits. I don't know if you can see this, but I have all of my habits and the days are at the top. And then if I do that habit that day, it gets marked red. And if I don't do that habit, it gets left white. So like some of these lately have just been like white, 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 white. And I'm just like, was it even a habit at all? Why am I not doing these anymore? And the ones that I'm struggling with are like habits that I wrote down or that are negative. And I find it really interesting because on my journey, positivity was something that I really, really pushed. I said I wasn't going to do anything and didn't want to do. And I've stuck to that. But I have these habits, and the habits are like no eating after 8 p.m. And for some reason, now that I have to fill in this box, as soon as 8 p.m. rolls around, I start thinking about it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't eat anymore. So I'm reevaluating my habit tracker and making it more positive to fit me better. So instead of saying no more eating after 8 p.m., I'm going to change my habit to snacks after 8 p.m. are whole foods. And I'm kind of changing the plan. I'm not going to change I'm not making drastic changes, but I'm finding things that didn't work and finding a way to make them work again. So like another one I have that I'm really struggling with is like nothing that is a meal at night. Like if you could sit down and eat it as a meal, I shouldn't be eating that at night. But I have that as one of my things, and like I always want a meal now because I said no, you can't have a meal after 8 p.m. So I'm getting rid of the negative ones on my habit tracker, the short of it. I'm changing my plan. I am super excited about the way I'm feeling mentally, even though I cracked this morning, because trust me, guys, I had it blown way out of proportion in my mind. I was like, I'm halfway back to where I was. And even though I knew that was physically impossible, that's what you can do to yourself when you get something so stuck in your mind. And so I'm just going to continue to practice what I preach, keep learning from the mistakes I make, keep learning from the choices I make. And I'm going to figure it out because this is like real life. I've dealt with stress and issues like my entire journey. Like it just comes with life. If nothing bad is happening to you in life, just wait a minute. Something bad will happen to you. So even though I'm dealing with stress, I was traveling, I had holidays coming up. That is life. I'm going to get over it. I'm going to learn from it. And I'm going to break this addiction to scale validation because the scale doesn't tell me anything. Personally, I'm at a point in my life and a point in my journey where like I don't feel accountable to anybody to share my weight. I don't feel like it's anybody's business what I weigh or if I do gain a couple pounds back because I'm working on new goals. Like my weight loss journey was a totally separate journey. And people continually ask me questions about it and they want to know like, well, how much do you weigh now? What are you doing now? It was totally separate. Like I did what I did to lose weight and then now this is life going forward. I'm not accountable. Nobody is paying me for my plan right now. So there's no reason why I have to stick to any one specific thing. I'm free to try different things and live my life going forward. Honestly, it gets tiring sometimes just sharing about weight loss all the time. And it's not really healthy for me either. When that's like my whole life and everything that everybody always messages me about is weight loss. Because weight loss isn't health. It's not. I lost 240 pounds in 17 months, and that doesn't mean that I'm magically healthy. Yeah, I did get healthy because I did it in a good way, but I could have done it in a bad way and got down to 170 pounds and been unhealthy. So like I'm done talking about weight loss. I'd rather talk about healthy lifestyles. I'd rather talk about positivity. Rather talk about self-love. There's so many other things I'd rather talk about than weight loss. And that's kind of where I'm at with things right now. So I'm glad I did this. It's really hard for me. Not gonna lie, but I'm so glad I did this because I'm learning a lot. I'm journaling a lot more. I'm loving it. It doesn't really bother me that I'm struggling so hard because that's what life is a struggle. The struggle makes you stronger, and I think this is going to make me a better person and a happier person in the long run. And it's something I'm planning on doing going forward anyway. So even though I did take a peak, it taught me something. It taught me something. I learned something. I gained something from it, and I'm excited to finish out the next 30 days and move on to the next one. So I would love to hear how your all scales cleanses are coming. If you did take a peek, feel free to join me in continuing to go forward, because just because you have one bad day doesn't ruin anything. One bad week didn't ruin anything. This whole month for me has been a SHIT show. It really has. Like, I don't know what I've been doing. I don't know what happened this last month. But I'm not sticking to the habits that I normally participate in. But that's okay, because I'm moving forward. I know what areas I need to work on. I know the things I want to improve on, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, if you still love and support me, even though I peaked on the scale, please let me know. Because I really felt that when I did that, I immediately regretted it. Immediately regretted it. If you haven't checked the scale, I would give yourself a big old heart, because this is hard, especially if you were used to daily validation. I want you better pump them hearts, because you guys deserve it. This is hard. And I want you to know that. I'm proud of every single person who is doing this with me. It is so hard, and I love you guys, and I thank you for doing this with me. And if you are not doing the scale cleanse because you know you would have peaked, I would highly encourage you to try it. See and document, write down how you feel, and see if it opens your eyes to just how much of your life is being controlled by the scale. Because I had no clue. No clue. I figured, I step on the scale, but it doesn't make the choices for me. But I was 110% wrong, because every single time I can't get on the scale now, or think I can't get on the scale, and my mind just goes crazy. It starts going to all random places that you're like, this is crazy talk. This is crazy talk. But you still think it. It still is in there. And for every one negative thought you have, you need 7. Do you know what I'm listening to? I'm listening to a lot of Lizzo. I'm listening to a lot of upbeat stuff. I am pouring so much positivity in my life right now to offset the weird, random, negative thoughts that are coming into my mind, because I'm doing a scale cleanse to offset that. So I hope everybody is having a great week, and I look forward to hearing all about how your scale cleanses are going. Bye, guys.